part of the inspiration for this exhibition was when I was doing a residency in Homer, Alaska in 2014. And when I went there, my intention was to sort of do this sort of beachcombing where there was a lot of this Japanese sort of tsunami debris was washing up on these Alaskan shores, and there were photographs of just the most fantastic things that were washing up from this massive sort of exodus of material out of when the waters receded in Japan. When I got there, though, the beaches had been cleaned up by by some volunteers, so I was really it was a great thing, and they were beautiful, but I was expecting to find a lot of inspiration on what I found on the beaches. And anyway, I had to get resourceful, and I had to find some materials in some way, and I was able to do a good piece. But the thing is, I was sitting on the dock, and I was looking out at Ketchimak Bay, which is a large sort of bay, industry and shipping through this bay, and I was looking, and all these ships were sitting out on the ocean, waiting to come into the bay, and I really didn't understand what was going on. And one of the local people explained it to me. He said there is a catastrophe unfolding right here in front of us, and he said that under the surface of the water there is entanglement of telephone poles and vehicles and debris and household stuff. There's part of a building that is sort of hovering just under the water surface, and it is completely all wrapped up with wires and just anything you could imagine, and it is possibly a square mile of this just unfathomable chaos that's under there, and everyone's wondering what we're going to do. How are we going to clean this up? How are we going to extract this material? Who's going to pay for that? And they were right in the middle of this debate as all these businesses were now suffering because of this. And I could just picture that under the water, and it was just absolutely fascinating to me. It was the most brilliant chaos that could ever be predicted. You can't imagine this happening, and here it is, and it's so surreal because you cannot see it. Standing there, I had no idea it was there, and I just sort of started drawing and started visualizing what this was under the water, and it always just looks like just a chaotic scribble in every form, right? So. Again, it's one of those things that stuck with me, and I wanted to work with that in some way. And again, that's another reason of the appearance of the telephone poles is through that inspiration.
Is part of that why this exhibition's floating?
Yes, absolutely. Everything is hanging from the ceiling of the gallery on these ratchet straps with this idea of create an attempt to create that same feeling of this sort of surrealness, just how it's not really there, and if it's not there, it's not real, and this event isn't happening. This massive and inconceivable thing is just not real. It was the strangest experience, but like I say, part of the inspiration behind the show, right? And I like the ratchet straps because it kind of speaks to that John boat that's out there. I mean, we strap things down, we want to control, and we want to sort of restrain things, I think, and we're unable to forever anyway.